Yo, what's up, USA, Canada, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, aka Greg, aka the YouTuber, creator, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging with the 104th episode of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube. And aside myself is the Instagram live feed. So make sure you turn your notifications on the podcast show page on Instagram so you can know when each episode is going to be dropping. And And if you're new to the YouTube channel universe and you miss any previous, new, and latest episodes, don't worry. I got you covered. Why don't you go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. Tap the noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream, along with a reminder of the time of the recording. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes. The review topics, yes, the review topics I meant to say. And stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and of course, tell a friend to another friend. Listen, stream, watch these episodes, share the videos, share the episodes, and I will handle the rest on where you can listen to the podcast episodes on there. So at the end of the show. So I do apologize for the delay of the episodes and stuff due to work related stuff. And and of course I've already addressed the whole cyberbullying thing already. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I love, because at the end of the day, it's just not it's not really worth it's not really worth it. You know what I mean? So anyway, without further ado, we are going to talk about today's episode. Today's episode is all about Cars, the movie and the games, and along with upcoming games, excuse me. And yeah, so so we're gonna get started with this segment right here called the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. Let's go. All right. Yes. So, excuse me. So, Cars is a 2006 American computer animated sports comedy film produced by Pixar Animation Studios and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The film was directed by uh, John Lasseter from a screen. Hold on. From a screenplay by Dan Fogelman. Lasseter, Joe Ranft, Kyle Murray, Phil Lauren, and Georgian Klubian, and a story about Lasseter, Rant, and Klubian, and was the final film independently produced by Pixar after its purchase by Disney in January 2006. The film features an assembled voice cast of Owen Wilson, Paul Newman, Newman. Oh man, Newman. That's funny. I'm pretty sure a lot of you folks out there probably heard the name Newman from Seinfeld multiple times. But yeah, that's funny, man. Bonnie Hunt, Larry the Cable Guy, Tony Schlob, Cheech Marin, Michael Wallace, George Carlin, Paul Dooley, Jennifer Lewis, Guido Quaroni, Michael Keaton, Captain Hellman, John Ratzenberger, and Richard Petty. While race car drivers Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mario Andretti, Michael Schumacher, and car enthusiast Jay Leno voiced themselves set in the world. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know Jay Leno was in this movie. So, anyway, as Jay Limo. Okay, yeah, voiced themselves. Set in a world populated entirely by anthropomorphic talking cars and other vehicles, it follows a hotshot rookie race car named Lightning McQueen, of course, played by Owen Wilson, who on the way to the biggest race of his life gets stranded in Radiator Springs, a rundown town, and learns a thing or two about friendship, family, and the things in life that are truly worth waiting for. Um, yes. So the budget for this film was $120 million. Development for Cars started in 1998 after finishing the production of A Bug's Life with a new script titled The Yellow Car, which was about an electric car living in a gas guzzling world with George Georgian Klubian began writing. It was announced that the producers agreed that it could be the next Pixar film after A Bug's Life, which scheduled for early 1999. Particularly around June 4th, the idea was later scrapped in favor of Toy Story 2, shortly after the production was resumed with major script changes. The film was inspired by Lasseter's experiences cross-country road trip. Randy Newman composed the film score with artists such as Sheryl Crow, Roscoe Flats, and Brad Paisley contributing tracks for the film. Cars premiered on May 26, 2006 at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina, and was theatrically released in the United States on June 9th to generally positive reviews, and received commercial success, grossing $462 million worldwide against a budget of $120 million. It was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, including Best Animated Feature, but lost to Happy Feet. But won both the Annie Award for Best Animated Feature and the Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film. The film was released on DVD on November 7th, 2006, and on Blu-ray in 2007. The film was accompanied by the short one-man band for its theatrical and home media releases. The film was dedicated to Joe Ranft, the film's co-director and co-writer, who died in a car crash during the film's production. The success of Cars launched a multimedia franchise and a series of 2 sequels produced by Pixar and 2 spin-offs produced by Disney Toon Studios, starting with Cars 2. All right, so we go to yeah. So there it is. Um Obviously you guys probably know who the cast are who's voicing them. So I'm gonna let y'all look this up for yourselves. Um, and let's go to the reception. In its opening weekend, Cars earned $60 million in 3,985 theaters in the United States, ranking number one at the box office. For 3 years, it would hold the record for having the biggest opening weekend for any car-oriented film until it was surpassed by Fast and the Furious in 2009. In the United States, the film held onto the number one spot for 2 weeks before being surpassed by Click and then by Superman Returns the following weekend. The film then earned $33.7 million during its second weekend, while competing against the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift and Nacho Libre. Later on, Cars would team up with another Disney film, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, which was released a month later. Around this time, it had approached the $200 million mark, becoming the third film of the year to do so, following X-Men: The Last Stand and The Da Vinci Code. It went on to gross $462 million worldwide and 244 in the United States. Cars was the second highest grossing animated film of 2006 behind Ice Age: The Meltdown. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes: the film has an approval rating of 74% based on 203 reviews and an average rating of 6.9 out of 10. The website's critics consensus reads, Cars offers visual treats that more than compensate for its somewhat thinly written story, adding up to a satisfying diversion for younger viewers. On Metacritic, the film has scored of 73 out of 100 based on 39 critics reviews, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale. While William Arnold of the Seattle Post Intelligencer praised it as one of Pixar's most imaginative and thoroughly appealing movies ever, and Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly called it a work of American art as classic as it is modern. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying that it tells a bright and cherry story and then has a little something profound lurking around the edges. In this case, it's a sense of loss. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4, saying fueled with plenty of humor, action, heartfelt drama, and amazing new technical feats. Cars is a high octane delight for moviegoers of all ages. Richard Corliss of Time gave the film a positive review, saying existing both in turbocharged today and the gentler 50s, straddling the realms of Pixar styling and old Disney heart. This new model Cars is an instant classic. Brian Lowry of Variety gave the film a negative review, saying despite representing another impressive technical achievement, it's the least visually interesting of the computer animation boutique's movies, and in an ironic twist for a story about auto racing drifts slowly through its semi-arid midsection. Robert Wolonsky of The Village Voice gave the film a positive review, saying what ultimately redeems Cars from turning out a total lemon is its soul. Lasseter loves these animate objects as though they were kin, and it shows in every beautifully rendered frame. Ella Taylor of LA Weekly gave the film a positive review, saying Cars cheerfully hitches cutting edge animation to a folksy narrative, plugging friendship, community, and a Luddite mistrust of high tech. Gene Seymour of Newsday gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying, and as pop flies go, Cars is pretty to watch, even it even as it loops, drifts, and at times looks as if it's just hanging in midair. Colin um Covert of the Star Tribune gave the film a positive review, saying it makes everything that's made Pixar shorthand for animation excellence, strong characters, tight pacing, spot on voice casting, a warm sense of humor, and visuals that are pure pixelated bliss and carries them to the next stage. Kenneth Turin of the Los Angeles Times gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, saying, what's surprising about this supremely engaging film is the source of its curb appeal. It has heart. Stephen Hunter of the Washington Post gave the film a positive review, saying it's the latest concoction from the geniuses at Pixar, probably the most inventive of the computer generated imagery shop. And the film's great fun, if well under the level of the first Toy Story. Jessica Reeves of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, saying while it's a technically perfect movie, its tone is too manic, its characters too jaded, and in the end, its story too empty to stand up to expectations. James Barandin, excuse me, James Barardinelli of Real Views gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying while Cars may cross the finish line ahead of any of 2006's other animated films, it's several laps behind its Pixar siblings. Lisa Kennedy of the Denver Post gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying Cars idles at times, and it's not until its final laps that the movie gains the emotional traction we've come to expect from the Toy Story and Nemo crews. Amy Biancoli of the Houston Chronicle gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying it thunders ahead with breezy abandon, scoring big grins on its way. Claudia Puig of USA Today gave the film a positive review, saying the animation is stunningly rendered, but the story is always the critical element in Pixar movies, and Cars' story is heartfelt with a clear and unabashed moral. David Eldenstein of New York Magazine gave the film a positive review, saying, like the Toy Story films, Cars is a state of the computer art plea on behalf of outmoded, wholesome 50s technology with a dash of Zen by the way of George Lucas. Moore McDonald of the Seattle Times gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4, saying though the central idea of nostalgia for a quieter, small town life may well be lost on this movie's young audience. Cars finds a pleasant and often sparkling groove. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle gave the film 2 out of 5 stars, saying Cars might get us into car world as a gimmick, but it doesn't get us into car world as a state of mind. Thus, the animation rather than seeming like an expression of the movie's deeper truth becomes an independent impediment, to it. Derek Adams of Time Out gave the film a positive review, saying there are many other brilliant scenes, some just as funny, but there are just as many occasions where you feel the film's struggling to fire on all cylinders. Still, it's a Pixar film, right? and they are always worth a gander no matter what anyone says. That's right. Accolades. Cars had a successful run during the 2006 award season. Many film critic associations, such as the Broadcast Film Critics Association and the National Board of Review, named it the best animated feature film of 2006. Cars also received the title of Best Reviewed Animated Feature of 2006 from Rotten Tomatoes. Randy Newman oh man. And James Taylor received a Grammy Award for the song Our Town, which later went on to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Song. An award it lost to I Need to Wake Up from An Inconvenient Truth. The film also earned an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Feature alongside Monster House. Both films lost to Happy Feet. Damn. Cars was also selected as the favorite family movie at the 33rd People's Choice Awards. The most prestigious award that Cars received was an inaugural Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film. Cars also won the highest award for animation in 2006, the Best Animated Feature Annie Award. In 2008, the American Film Institute nominated this film for its top 10 animation films list. And we'll get to the video game part in a second. All right, so next movie is Cars 2, which is a 2011 American computer animated spy comedy film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Pictures. It is the sequel to Cars 2006, the second film in the Cars franchise, and the 12th animated film from the studio. This was the final Pixar Pixar film animated with their old software system. Marionette before being officially replaced with Presto in 2012. The film was directed by John Lasseter, co-directed by Brad Lewis, and produced by Denise Reen. From a screenplay written by Ben Queen and a story about Lasseter, Lewis, and Dan Fogelman. In the film's assembled voice cast, Owen Wilson, Larry the Cable Guy, Tony Shalhoub, Guido Quaroni, Bonnie Hunt, and John Ratzenberger reprised their roles from the first film. Paul Newman oh shit, voiced voiced who voiced Doc Hudson in the previous film, died in September 2008, so his character was written out of the film. Damn. George Carlin, who previously voiced Fillmore, died during the same year, and his role was passed to Lloyd Sher. The returning cast is joined by Michael Caine, Emily Mortimer, John Turturro, Eddie Izzard, not Lizard, and Thomas Kretschmann. Kretschmans. Okay, who voiced the new characters introduced in this film. Okay. So I guess Jay Leno's not part of it. So, the film follows race car Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson, and tow truck Mater Cable Guy, who head to Japan and Europe to compete in the World Grand Prix, but Matter accidentally becomes sidetracked with international espionage and ends up attempting to cover a conspiracy led by a mysterious criminal mastermind and his gang, which threatens all competitors in the Grand Prix, with the help of British spies Finn McMissile and Holly Shifwell. Kane and Mortimer. Cars 2 was first announced in April 2008 with a tentative to 2012 release date alongside Up and Brave 2012, making Cars the second Pixar film to spawn a sequel after Toy Story, as well as becoming a franchise. Yes, Lasseter was confirmed to be returning as director, while Lewis was designated as co-director in June 2010. Lasseter was convinced of the story while traveling around the world promoting the first film. Michael Giacchino composed the film's score with artists such as Weezer, Robbie Williams, Brad Paisley, and Benabar contributing tracks for the film. Cars 2 premiered at the El Captain Theater in Los Angeles on June 18, 2011, and was released in the United States on June 24th in Disney Digital 3D and IMAX 3D, as well as traditional two-dimensional and IMAX formats. It received mixed reviews from critics, with the voice acting, animation, and characters receiving some praise, while criticism was aimed towards the plot and its G rating. Despite the mixed reviews, Cars 2 continued the studio streak of box office success, grossed $562 million worldwide against its $200 million budget, becoming the 10th highest grossing film of 2011 and the highest grossing film of the Cars trilogy. The film was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film at the 69th Golden Globe Awards, but lost to The Adventures of Tintin. Oh my gosh. A sequel, Cars 3, was released on June 16th, 2017. To date, this is the last Pixar film to be directed by Lester. Oh, wow. Oh, I guess Jay Leno's not in this time. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, he's not in it. He did the first one. Yeah, he did the first one. Okay, let's go to the reception. Cars 2 grossed $191.5 million in the United States and Canada, and $370.7 million in other countries, for a worldwide total of $562.1 million. Worldwide, on its opening weekend, it grossed $109 million, marking the largest opening weekend for a 2011 animated title. Overall, Cars 2 became the seventh biggest Pixar film in worldwide box office among the 14 released. Yes. Cars 2 made $25.7 million on its debut Friday, June 2011, marking the second highest opening day for a Pixar film at the time, after Toy Story 3's $41.1 million. During this time, though, it was the third least attended opening day for a Pixar film, only ahead of Up and Ratatouille. It also scored the sixth largest opening day for an animated feature. On its opening weekend as a whole, Cars 2 debuted at number one, ahead of Green Lantern and Bad Teacher, with $66.1 million, marking the largest opening weekend for a 2011 animated feature, the seventh largest opening for Pixar, the eighth largest among films released in June, and the fourth largest for a G-rated film. In its second weekend, however, the film was overtaken by Transformers Dark of the Moon, dropping 60.3% and grossing $26.2 million. At the end of its theatrical run, Cars 2 became the lowest grossing Pixar film in North America since A Bug's Life, out of the studio's first 12 films. Outside North America, it grossed $42.9 million during its first weekend from 3,129 theaters in 18 countries, topping the box office. It performed especially well in Russia, where it grossed $9.42 million, marking the best opening weekend for a Disney or Pixar animated feature and surpassing the entire runs of Cars and Toy Story 3. In Mexico, it made $8.24 million during its first weekend, while in Brazil, it topped the box office with $5.19 million. That includes $7.08 million with previews. It also premiered at number one with $5.16 million in Australia, where it debuted simultaneously with Kung Fu Panda 2 and outgrossed it. It is the largest grossing film of 2011 in Lithuania, which is $477,117. Argentina, $12 million. It is the largest grossing animated film of 2011 in Estonia, $442,702. Finland, $3.2 million. Norway, $5.8 million. Critical response on review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes. The film holds an approval rating of 39% based on 219 reviews, with an average rating of 5.50 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads Cars 2 is as visually appealing as any other Pixar production, but all that dazzle can't disguise the rusty storytelling under the hood. It is the lowest rated Pixar film on the site to date and the only one to earn a Rotten certification. Another review aggregator, Metacritic, which assigns a weighted average score of reviews from mainstream critics, gave the film an average score of 57 out of 100. Based on 38 critics indicating mixed or average reviews, audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale. The original Cars was not greeted with exceptional warmth, said the New York Times, but the sequel generated Pixar's first truly negative response. Critics generally criticized the focus on Mater and felt the film lacked warmth and charm, while also feeling the film was made as an exercise in target marketing and was too violent to deserve a G rating. Reviewing the film for the Wall Street Journal, Joe Morgenstern wrote, "This frenzied sequel seldom gets beyond mediocrity." Entertainment Weekly critic Owen Gleiberman said Cars 2 is a movie so stuffed with fun that it went right off the rails. What on earth was the gifted director mogul John Lasseter thinking? That he wanted kids to come out of this movie was sick, more ADD. Although Leonard Moulton on IndieWire claimed that he has such high regard for Pixar and its creative team led by John Lasseter, he said he found the plot confusing and felt that Mater's voice was annoying, saying that he'd rather listen to chalk on a chalkboard than spend nearly 2 hours with Toll Mater. Considering the low reviews given to the Pixar production, critic Kyle Smith of the New York Post said they said it couldn't be done, but Pixar proved the naysayers wrong when it made its first bad movie, Cars. Now it was worst. It was worsted itself with the even more awful Cars 2. Conversely, Peter Travers of Rolling Stone gave the movie 3.5 stars out of 4 and said that the sequel is a tire-burning burst of action and fun with a beating heart under its hood. He also praised its fluid script and called it a winner. Roger Ebert was the most effusive of the more positive reviews, praising Lasseter's channeling of childhood playtime for the film's spirit and writing. At a time when some grow up action films are relentlessly shallow and stupid, here is a movie with such complexity that even the cars sometimes have to pause and explain it to themselves. Justin Chang of Variety commented, the rare sequel that not only improves on but retroactively justifies its predecessor. Ticket buyers also gave the film an A minus in exit polls on par with other Pixar titles. A central current of the negative reviews was the theory that Cars 2 was forced out of Pixar by its corporate parent, the Walt Disney Company, out of greed to drive merchandising sales. Lasseter vehemently denied these claims, which he attributed to people who don't know the facts, rushing to judge. Some theorized that the the vitriol was less about the film, but more about Pixar's broadening focus to sequels. The New York Times reported that although one negatively reviewed film would not be enough to scratch the studio, the commentary did dent morale at the studio, which until then had enjoyed an unbroken and perhaps unprecedented run of critical acclaim. All right, we go to the accolades. We go to the accolades. So, Cars 2 marks the first Pixar film not to be nominated for an Oscar. It also it is also the first Pixar film not nominated for Best Animated Feature since its introduction in 2001. Sheesh. So, the British Academy Children's Awards um, got nominated for favorite film. People's Choice Awards, favorite movie, animated voice. Owen Wilson got nominated, and the movie Cars 2 got nominated for best film for Golden Globe Awards, and Annie Awards um, also got a nomination. Okay, so the movie itself got nominated for best animated feature. Um, Wait, hold on a second. Excuse me. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, John Rice got nominated for Best Animated Effects in an Animated Production, alongside with from Eric Fromling, who got nominated for Best Animated Effects in an Animated Production. Jay Schuster got a nomination for character design in animated feature. Harley Jessup got a nomination for production design in a featured production. Scott Morse got a nomination for storyboarding in a feature production. Steven Schaefer got nominated for editing in a feature production. And we go to the Kids' Choice Awards. So, Kids' Choice Awards, the movie Cars 2 got nominated for favorite animated movie. And Saturn Awards, Cars 2 got nominated for best animated film. And the ASCAP award, Michael Giacchino won for top box office films. Visual Effects Society Awards, Mayor Abus Mayor Say, hold on a second. Abu Abu Saidi. Here we go. Jeremy Lasky, Jonathan Pitko got nominations for Outstanding Virtual Cinematography in an Animated Feature, Motion Picture as well. And yeah, yeah, let's yeah, so all right, so now we go to Cars 3. Okay, so Cars 3 is a 2017 American computer animated sports comedy adventure film produced by um, Pixar Animation Studios and released by Walt Disney Pictures. Excuse me. It is the sequel to Cars 2, 2011, and the third installment of the Cars film series. The film was directed by Brian Fee in his directorial debut and produced by Kevin Reher and Andrea Warren. From the screenplay written by Kyle Murray, Bob Peterson, and Mike Rich, and a story by Fee, Ben Queen, and the writing team of Io Podell and Jonathan E. Stewart. John Lasseter, who directed the first two Cars films, served as executive producer. The returning voices of Owen Wilson, Larry the Cable Guy, Bonnie Hunt, Tony Schlapp, Guido Quaroni, Cheech Marin, Jennifer Lewis, Paul Dooley, Lloyd Sher, Michael Wallace, Katherine Hellman, and John Ratzenberger are joined by Christella Alonso, Chris Cooper, Army Hammer, Nathan Fillion from The Rookie, Kerry Washington, and Leah DeLauria, in addition to a dozen NASCAR personalities. In the film, Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson, sets out to prove to a new generation of race cars that he's still at the top of his game. With the help of his young technician, Cruz Ramirez, played by Christella Alonso, to prevent Jackson Storm, played by Army Hammer, winning the final race at Florida 500. Wow. And let's see. Let's see. Yes, so talks for the third Cars film began in late 2011 after the release of its predecessor. The film entered production in 2014 with Lasseter stating that it would be a very emotional story, similar in tone to the first one prior to the film's release. They want the film to feel like a sports film while also focusing on McQueen realizing what their relationship meant to Doc Hudson. The production utilized a new rendering system mode, Rick's integration subsystem, which made scenes possible previously used in Finding Dory. Randy Newman oh man. Ah, Newman. Who had worked on the first film, composed the film's score with artists such as Andra Day, James Bay, Brad Paisley, and Jorge Blanco contributing tracks for the film. Cars 3 first succeed. No, excuse me. Cars 3 was first screened for the NASCAR industry in in Kannapolis, North Carolina on May 23rd, 2017, before its worldwide theatrical release on June 16th, accompanied by the animated short film Lou. It grossed $383 million worldwide against its $175 million budget, becoming the lowest grossing film of the franchise, but still a box office success. It received generally positive reviews from critics with praise for its animation story and emotional depth, with many of them deeming it an improvement over its predecessor. All right, so we go to the reception. Um, Cars 3 grossed $152.9 million in the United States and Canada and $231 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $383.9 million against a production budget of $175 million. In North America, Cars 3 was released alongside Rough Night, 47 Meters Down, and All Eyes on Me, and was projected to gross $55 to $60 million from 4,256 theaters in its opening weekend. It made $2.8 million from Thursday night previews and $19.5 million on its first day. It went on to open to $53.7 million, finishing first at the box office and dethroning two-time first place finisher Wonder Woman. Ooh. Cars 3 had the lowest opening of the series, but nevertheless was the 16th Pixar film to debut at number one. In its second weekend, the film grossed $24.1 million, dropping to third place behind Transformers The Last Night and Wonder Woman. In its third weekend, the film made $9.7 million, $14.1 million over the 5-day 4th of July weekend, dropping to fifth. Critical response on the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 69% based on 233 reviews with an average rating of 6.10 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, Cars 3 has an unexpected poignant story to go with its dazzling animation, suggesting Pixar's most middle of the road franchise may have a surprising amount of tread left. On Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating, the film has a score of 59 out of 100 based on reviews from 41 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale. The movie was considered an improvement over its predecessor by critics. Owen Gleiberman of Variety wrote Cars 3 is a friendly, rollicking movie made, made with warmth and dash, and to extent that it taps our primal affection for this series. It more than gets the job done. Yet in many ways, it's the tasteful version series. It more than gets the job done. It's more than gets the job done. Yet, in many ways, it's the tasteful version of a straight to DVD or streaming sequel. David Fear of Rolling Stone gave the film a positive review, saying there's an emotional renaissance to the story about growing old, chasing glory days, and the joy of passing the baton that leaves the other two films choking on its digitally rendered dust. The end goal this time out isn't just to sell a few more toys and Lightning McQueen lunchboxes. It's actually tapping into something deeper than a corporate bottom line. Mike Ryan of Up Rocks called the film the Rocky 3 of the Cars franchise and wrote, there's a hint of sadness that seems to be present throughout Cars 3 that gives it a little more weight than the previous installments. Alonzo Duralde of The Rap gave the film a mixed review, saying, as a spawner of merchandise, Cars 3 fires on all pistons, but as a movie, it's a harmless but never stimulating 109 minutes. Vicky Roach. Oh, man. Oh man, Vicky Roach gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying, returning to the iconic back rows nostalgia of the original film, Cars 3 puts the flashy, unpopular middle film squarely in its rear vision mirror. The route that the filmmakers take might be familiar, but after gunning it, they take the corners like pros. Okay, so All right, so let's get to the accolades right here. Now, the Teen Choice Awards, of course, obviously from August 13th, 2017. Walt Disney Pictures got a nomination for Choice Movie Comedy. Owen Wilson got a nomination for Choice Movie Actor Comedy. Detroit Film Critics Society, Cars 3 got a nomination for Best Animated Film. St. Louis Film Critics Association, Brian Fee got a nomination for Best Animated Feature. Cars 3 got a nomination for Best Animated Movie for IGN Awards. Image Awards, Kerry Washington got a nomination for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance. Satellite Awards, Cars 3 got a nomination for Best Animated or Mixed Media Feature. Art Directors Guild, William Cohn and Jay Schuster got a nomination for Production Design in an Animated Feature. Brian Fee, Kevin Reher, Michael Fong, and John Reich got a nomination for Outstanding Visual Effects in an Animated Feature for the Visual Effects Society Award. Marlena Fetcho, Ty Dartana Annie, John Jai, Jose L. Ramos Serrano, and Frank Ty for Abandoned Racetrack got a nomination for Outstanding Creative Environment in an Animated Feature. Now we go to the hold on a second. Greg Gladstone, Stephen Marshall, Leon Jong Wook Park, and Tim Speltz got a nomination for Outstanding Effects Simulations in an Animated Feature. Now we go to the Annie Awards. Kevin Reher got a nomination for Best Animated Feature. Amit Batkar, Greg Gladstone, Stephen Marshall, Tim Speltz, and John Reich got nominations for animated effects in an animated production. That's the Annie Awards. So, Cinema Audio Society Awards. Doc Kane, Tom Myers, Michael Semenik, Nathan Nance, David Bocher, and Blake Collins got a nomination for Outstanding Achievement in Sound Mixing for a Motion Picture Animated. And Saturn Awards, Cars 3 got a nomination for Best Animated Film. All right, so let's see. Now, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, hold on a second. Um, right. Right. Let's get to the video game. Let's get to the video game chamber right now. And since we're reviewing Cars, the movie, we might as well review the video game behind it too. Actually, so I actually seen some people playing one of the Cars game franchises. So why not? Let's do it. All right, since today's episode is all about cars, we're not gonna get to the other games that's well, actually, we have enough time. We'll be able to get to the other games that's actually being released and stuff as far as the dates is concerned. Um, so 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 this is the video game version based on the film. So Cars is an open world racing video game based on the 2006 Pixar film of the same name. Developed by Rainbow Studios, it was released for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, Microsoft Windows, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and PSP. Now, for those of you who may not know what PSP is, PSP stands for PlayStation Portable. So there you have it. PlayStation Portable. In June 2006, with versions for the Xbox 360 and Wii released later that year. The Wii version includes functionality geared towards its Wii remote controller and was a launch game for the system. And let's see. So let's go over the release dates. Okay, so the release date for Cars, the video game, was released on Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo DS, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, and Xbox. So in North America, it was released on June 6, 2006. Australia, June 8th, 2006. Europe, July 14th, 2006. That's for Xbox. Xbox 360. North America, October 23rd, 2006. Europe, November 17th, 2006. Australia, November 23rd, 2006. For North America, November 19th, 2006. Europe, December 8th, 2006. Australia, December 14th, 2006. And racing adventure is the genre, and it's a single player multiplayer. Taking place after the events of the film, the player controls the protagonist Lightning McQueen as he participates in the new racing season with the end goal of winning the Piston Cup for the first time in his career, while also racing and training with the local community of Radiator Springs. In its PSP, which is PlayStation Portable version, the player again controls Lightning McQueen. After meeting and narrowly avoiding a collision with the delinquent road hazards game, he challenges them to a race to which they agree. The console version feature the full voiceover cast from the film, including the likes of Owen Wilson, Michael Keaton, Paul Newman. Oh shit. And Larry the Cable Guy. However, the PSP and DS versions, Lightning McQueen is instead voiced by Keith Ferguson. The home console and PC versions received positive reviews from critics, though the GBA version met negative reception. This may be due to it being at a strange angle and being hard to know where to go or what to do. This game was followed by two sequels: Cars Matter National Championship in 2007 and Cars Racerama 2009. Now we go over the gameplay. The console versions of the game are set in the fictional town of Radiator Springs, where it takes place after the movie. The player must complete in 19 road races, 8 mini games, and 5 Piston Cup races to help Lightning McQueen win his first Piston Cup. In the PSP version, the game presumably takes place on an alternative timeline. The player must complete in 13 races as well as 5 boss races. To help Lightning McQueen claim Radiator Springs back from the delinquent road hazards gang. The game takes place in an open world in the vein of Need for Speed, Grand Theft Auto, and Midnight Club. and features 10 playable characters from the film, 16 in PSP version, all voiced by the original voice talent. The game also features a number of mini games and items for the player to collect. The development. On May 8th, 2002, video game publisher THQ acquired the rights to the next three titles from Pixar Animation Studios: Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Cars. Cars was announced on February 7th, 2006, and was later announced for Wii and Xbox 360. On June 6th, 2006, THQ announced that the game would be shipping out for all platforms except Wii and Xbox 360. The Wii version was released on November 19th as a launch title for the console. The current generation and 360 versions were developed by Rainbow Studios, while the Wii version was developed by Incinerator Games. Okay, reception. So, aggregator score. So, according to Metacritic, um, DS has a score of 54 out of 100. GBA 50 out of 100. GCN 71 out of 100. PC 73 out of 100. PS2 71 out of 100. PSP 70 out of 100. Xbox 70 out of 100. Xbox 360 65 out of 100. Nintendo Wii 65 out of 100. Eurogamer gives the PS2 4 out of 10. J2 Me 9 out of 10. GameSpot gives DS 6.5 out of 10. GPA 6.5 out of 10. GCN PS2 Xbox 7.6 out of 10. PSP 7.4 out of 10. Xbox 360 7 out of 10. Nintendo Wii 7 out of 10. GameSpy DS 2.5 stars. GCN PS2 Xbox 4.5 stars. PSP 3 stars. Nintendo Wii 3 stars. Games Radar Plus DS 3.5 stars. GCN PS2 Xbox 4.5 stars. PSP 3 stars. Game Zone DS 4.9 out of 10, GBA 6.4 out of 10, GCN 8 out of 10, PS2 7.8 out of 10, IGN DS 5.8 out of 10, GBA 3 out of 10, GCN PS2 Xbox 7.2 out of 10, PSP 7.5 out of 10, Nintendo Wii 6.8 out of 10, G2 Me 7.2 out of 10. Cars received generally positive reviews. GameSpot gave 7.0 out of 10 for Xbox 360 and Wii versions, 7.6 out of 10 for the GameCube and Xbox versions, and 7.4 out of 10 of for the PSP version. Metacritic gave 65 out of 100 for the Wii version, 54 out of 100 for the DS version, 73 out of 100 for the PC version, 71 out of 100 for the PlayStation 2 version, and 70 out of 100 for the PSP version. The PlayStation 2 and Nintendo DS releases of Cars each received a Platinum Sales Award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 300,000 copies per version in the United Kingdom. In total, the game sold more than 8 million copies of May 2007. The GBA version was criticized as being the worst version of the game because of its incredibly short length zoomed in camera, lack of a multiplayer mode, and a lack of any depth. Okay, now we go to Cars 2, the video game. All right. Cars 2, based on the movie, is a 2011 racing game developed by Avalanche Software and published by Disney Interactive Studios. It is based on the Pixar film Cars 2, the sequel to the 2006 film Cars, originally announced at E3 2011. The game was released by Disney Interactive on major platforms in North America on June 21st, 2011, and in Australia 2 days later. The game was released in Europe on July 22nd, 2011. Versions for the Nintendo 3DS and PlayStation Portable were released later that year in November. The game features an array of cars, characters competing in spy adventures as well as racing. The game received mixed reviews from critics. Okay, now we go to the release dates. So obviously, this is for Microsoft Windows. North America, June 21st, 2011. Australia, July 1st, 2011. Uh Europe, July 15th, 2011. Um, what is ESP? Hold on a second. Spain. Okay. España. Okay. España, July 23rd, 2011. Russia, August 22nd, 2011. PlayStation Portable, North America, July 10th, 2011. Australia, July 12th, 2011. Europe, August 8th, 2011. Russia, December 26th, 2011. Nintendo 3DS, North America, September 14th, 2011. Europe, October 12th, 2011. Australia, September 17th, 2011. Japan, October 27th, 2011. The arcade version, North America, May 3rd, 2013. Europe, May 26th, 2013. Australia, June 1st, 2013. Russia, June 15th, 2013. Japan, June 21st, 2013. Um, okay, now we go to the gameplay. In Cars 2, a third person racing players have a choice of 25 different characters and train to become world class spies. As part of training, players participate in missions using high tech gadgets, for example, to avoid enemies or slow them down. The game has three types of trophies: bronze, silver, and gold. Points are awarded at different values depending on what type of vehicle class players use. The game characters are divided into three weight classes: heavy, medium, and light. Players can unlock new cars, tracks, and missions by collecting emblems. Drop in, drop out multiplayer modes support up to four players simultaneously. Okay, so the synopsis. Okay, based on Pixar's computer animated film Cars 2, the video game follows the exploits of car characters Mike excuse me, Lightning McQueen and Mater as they train in a secret facility known as Chrome, short for Command Headquarters for Raycon Operations and Motorized Espionage. They are joined by British intelligence agents Finn McMissile and Holly Shifwell as they attempt to become the equivalent of spies. Several characters from the Cars 2 film appear with additional characters from the first film and Cars Tune Cars Tunes animated shorts available as downloadable content. Okay, the development. The game was first shown to the public at E3 2011. It was also unveiled at the American International Toy Fair in New York City. According to a video game interview on GameLine, John Day, the producer of the game, said they wanted to create a good family racing game and add a few things that perhaps no one has seen before. Avalanche Software was working in close collaboration with Pixar artists to bring the humor and personality of the feature film to life. All right, we go to the reception. So, all right, hold on. All right, let's go over this. So, Metacritic for DS gives it 58 out of 100. PC 65 out of 100. PS3 74 out of 100. Wii 69 out of 100. Xbox 360, 72 out of 100. 3Ds, 58 out of 100. Eurogamer gives it 7 out of 10. Game Informer gives it 7.75 out of 10. GamePro gives it 4 stars. GameSpot gives it 7.5 out of 10. IGN gives it 8 out of 10. DS 6.5 out of 10. Nintendo World Report, the Wii 6.5 out of 10. 3Ds 5.5 out of 10. Official Xbox Magazine 7.5 out of 10. The Guardian 4 stars. Videogamer.com 7 out of 10. So Cars received mixed reviews from critics with a score of 72 and 74 on Metacritic for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions, respectively. IGN gave the game 8 out of 10 rating, stating that Cars 2 is a great multiplayer game that rivals Mario Kart. The official Xbox magazine gave it a 7.5 out of 10 rating, praising fun and polished racing, but criticizing the fact that online play was missing from the title. Game Informer gave the title a 7.75 out of 10 rating, calling it a satisfying racing experience. GameSpot's Justin Carver gave it a 7.5 out of 10 rating, praising its career mode and track designs. He was, however, upset that there was no online mode as expected, and also no free roam, unlike its predecessors. And the last one of the game is Cars 3. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, Cars 3 Driven to Win is a 2017 racing game developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. It is based on the 2017 Disney Pixar film Cars 3, the first Disney game to not be published by Disney Interactive Studios since its shutdown on May 10, 2016, and the first game developed by Avalanche Software after the Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment acquisition. The game was released for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and Xbox One on June 13, 2017 in North America, in Europe and Australia on July 14, 2017, and in Japan on July 20th, 2017. This is the only game in the entire Cars franchise to have different voice actors for every character. For example, Lightning McQueen is not voiced by neither Owen Wilson nor Keith Ferguson. He is instead voiced by Ben Roush. Okay, so the release. Okay, so we have Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One. So it was released June 13, 2017, Europe in North America, Europe, July 14, 2017, Japan, July 20th, 2017. Gameplay. Shit. The modes that appear in the game are as follows: must race players must compete to see who can get to the finish line the fastest. Battle racing, but with weapons. The takedown players must use weapons and power-ups to take out as many other cars as possible. When the timer runs out, the player with the most points wins. Stunt showcase. The objective here is to put on a show by performing jumps and tricks to score points and impress the crowds. Best lap challenge. Players must try to get the best lap time around a given course. Playground, a sandbox mode that allows players to go racing, perform stunts, complete challenges, or just cruise around. Master level master level events. Players will race with bosses. If the player wins the event, it will unlock a specific character. For example, Miss Fritter, Master, the Mater the Greater, Chick Hicks, and Jackson Storm are unlocked by winning master level events. When the player starts the game, the player starts with 0 skill checks. Skill checks can be completed by completing the requirements on each one. If the player completes a certain number of skill checks, the player is able to unlock new events, characters, and tracks. Playable characters, there are a total of 23 characters to play as, with 16 of them unlocked in the game. To unlock them, the player must earn more skill checks or complete master level events. RV, Bobby Swift, Brick Yardley, Cam Spinner, Chick Hicks, Cruz Ramirez, Dr. Damage, Fabulous, Lightning McQueen, Guido, Jackson Storm, Junior Moon, Lightning McQueen, Louise Nash, Mac Mater. Um, Hold on. Okay, Mac Mater, Mater the Greater, Miss Fritter, Natalie Certain, Ramon, Rich Mixon, River Scott, Sally, and Smokey. Oh wow. Okay, so Metacritic gives the score for Nintendo Switch 59, excuse me, 59 out of 100. PS4 72 out of 100. Xbox One 59 out of 100. Nintendo Life, let's see. 6 stars. Push Square 6 stars. Cars 3 Driven to Win received mixed or average reviews from critics according to review aggregator Metacritic. IGN España said Cars 3 Driven to Win is a fun game to play with our children using a Mario Kart style control, but simplifying it rightly. A good number of hours of play to unlock all its contents make the purchase worthwhile if you have children fans of the Pixar film. Let's see. Hold on a minute here. I know this. I know. Let's see. There was. Hold on a second, man. I want to actually make sure I get to the other movies. The other movies. Let me see. What was it? Where is the other thing? Um, hold on. I want to make sure I get to the other thing. The other thing. Shit. Where is it? Trying to remember. One moment. One moment. One moment. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Um, yeah. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. I remember seeing. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh my God, I forgot. Okay. Wait a minute here. Oh, let's look this up. I'm sorry. Okay, wait a minute here. Something with international. I just saw this. Oh boy. I remember seeing this part though. Hold on a minute here. Ah, man. The All right. If I can find it, I'm sorry. I'm just looking for the other stuff, the other films and stuff. So, man, wait, Racerama. Yeah, wait a minute here. Cars. Oh, Racerama. Yes. Okay, there's Racerama. Here it is. Okay, let's get to it. So, Cars Racerama is a racing game based on the Cars franchise that was released on October 12th, 2009. Yeah, let me get to this one right here, Cars Battle National. So, Cars Mater National Championship is a racing game developed by Rainbow Studios and published by THQ for PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, Microsoft Windows, Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo DS. Released on October 29th, 2007. It is the sequel to the 2006 video game Cars, which was based on the 2006 film of the same name by Pixar. Okay, so the release for Xbox 360, North America, October 29th, 2007. Europe, November 16th, 2007. Australia, November 29th, 2007. Microsoft Windows, Nintendo DS, and PlayStation 2, North America, October 29th, 2007. Europe, November 23rd, 2007. Australia, November 29th, 2007. Um, PlayStation 3, North America, October 29th, 2007. Australia, November 29th, 2007. Europe, November 30th, 2007. Game Boy Advance, North America, um, November 12th, 2007. Australia, November 29th, 2007. Wii, Nintendo Wii, North America, November 12th, 2007. Australia, January 24th, 2008. Europe, February 8th, 2008. The game received generally mixed reviews from critics. A Cars sequel, Cars Racerama, was released in 2009, which I will get to next. Okay, taking place sometime after the events of the previous game, Cars Matter National Championship is about the first ever Matter National Tournament held in Radiator Springs by Lightning McQueen and Mater. The player controls McQueen as he races against opponents from around the world, all while overseeing the building of his racing headquarters and the ambitious Radiator Springs Racing Stadium. In addition to returning characters, there are multiple new characters that appear in the game, many of which come from different countries such as Germany and Japan. Just like the previous game, Mater National features three worlds: Radiator Springs, Ornament Valley, and Tailfin Pass, all of which have been redesigned, although certain areas are blocked off and can only be accessed in races. Playable characters. There are 17 playable characters, with 5 of them being unlockable, and 2 of them are guest characters from Monsters Inc. So you got Doc Hudson, Fillmore, Flo, Emma, Giovanni, Godmon, Koji, Lightning McQueen, Luigi, Mater, Mike, Monster, Lightning, McQueen, Monster, Mater, Otto, Ramon, Sarge, and Sully. All right, so Metacritic gives DS, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, first DS, 69 out of 100, PS2, 67 out of 100, PS3, 63 out of 100, Xbox 360, 58 out of 100. Games Radar Plus, 3 stars. Game Zone DS 6 out of 10. IGN DS 6.8 out of 10. Videogamer.com 8 out of 10. Cars Meter National has received average reviews from critics upon the release. PS Extreme gave this game a 7.0, praising the better audio but criticized the graphics. IGN rated the Nintendo DS version of the game 6.8 out of 10, calling it cute and kid friendly, but never made into fifth gear. Metacritic aggregates aggregate scores for Nintendo DS version 69 out of 100, and the Xbox 360 version is 58 out of 100. The PlayStation 3 version 63 out of 100, and the PlayStation 2 version 67 out of 100. So they all right. So all right. So let's get to the okay. Okay, Cars Racerama. Yeah, let's get to Cars Racerama, and that's gonna be it. Cars Racerama is a racing video game based on the Cars franchise that was raced on October 12th, 2009. It is the sequel to Cars Mater National Championship, which was released on October 29th, 2007. Okay, so the platforms is PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS, North America, October 12th, 2009, Europe, October 30th, 2009, and it's racing. Single player, local, multiplayer. Gameplay. Cars Race-O-Rama is a racing adventure game in which the player controls Cars protagonist and Piston Cup racer Lightning McQueen. The game features 5 non-linear open worlds, including Radiator Springs. In each area, McQueen can participate in multiple race types, including circuit races, relay, and point-to-point. Some events allow the player to control the other characters, such as the forklift Guido in events known as Guido Kart. During these events, the player participates in a combat racing similar to that found in the Mario Kart series. Throughout the single player campaign, players will have the opportunity to visually upgrade McQueen. In his starting configuration, the player can change McQueen's front bumper, HUD, side skirts, and spoiler. Additionally, his wheels and paint livery can be changed via unlocks from the gameplay world collectibles. Um, Cars Racer-Rama debuted at E3 2009. The primary version was developed by Incinerator Studios, and this version was released on PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 2. It was powered by Rainbow Studios engine, which had been the technology behind the previous two Cars installments. The PSP and DS versions of the game were created by Tantalus Media and Melbourne and Brisbane, Australia. A toy line for the release was released in early 2009 as the name Racerama was used for the third series of Mattel diecast Disney cars. This is the last Disney Pixar video game published by THQ, as well as the last game to be published by any other company except Disney Interactive Studios until 2017, when Cars 3 Driven to Win was published by Warner Brothers Interactive. It is also the final Cars game to be released on the PlayStation 2. All right. Okay, so IGN. Okay, so Cars Racer-Rama received mixed reviews according to Metacritic. IGN noted that the game felt like a cash grab, saying that it felt like the soulless husk of a great movie. Game Informer wrote, "It's not fun to explore, and aside from activating a few boring mini games, there's no reason to cruise around the levels with regards to exploration." Games Radar Plus said the game was fun for children and praised its characters and customization, while criticizing the price tag, character designs, and lack of iteration. So, Metacritic gives PS3 61 out of 100, Wii 58 out of 100, Xbox 360 54 out of 100. Game Informer gives it 6 out of 10. Games Radar Plus gives it 3.5 stars. Game Zone for Wii gives Wii 6 out of 10. IGN 5 out of 10. So let's see. The Legacy Cars Racer-Rama is infamous for being incompletable when played on Xbox 360. The final achievement found in the game titled Overachiever is unattainable due to a glitch where the achievement will not unlock when the requirements are met. Unlock all other achievements found in the game. The game currently sits at a 0% completion total on achievement tracking website True Achievements. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap up here right here. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here actually. I do apologize for not getting to Music Kool-Aid as far hip hop history and getting to the other games on Game Informer, which is what I use as a website to know, to let you gamers know out there which games is coming out on a certain date. Because the because I wanted this episode to be about Cars, the movie and the video game. So I'll do the other games in the next episode. So without further ado, let's get to stream choices on the go, man. Let's go. 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 All right, you know what to do, folks. For the listeners out there, man, and for those of you who are new, welcome to the show. And of course, you can follow Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. You can show some love by following Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, my review show on Instagram, alongside with along with Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show. I will be dropping some episodes for the sports podcast today. I didn't get a chance to drop it yesterday, as well as um the other episode for Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast yesterday last night, due to some overtime I had to do, and and I will make up for that before we go on Christmas break, though. You know what I'm saying? All right, so just wanted to get that out the way. So let's get to the part where we have to all right, so Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast on Facebook alongside with Instagram. And of course you can follow me, your homie right here, G Money Stacks. G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. All right. Um Turn on your notifications so you can be in the know on when I'm going to be on Instagram live on 3 of those podcast pages, and of course the and of course with weekly episodes and stuff. And I want to remind I'll explain when we're going to be back in the next episode, so I'll explain. um yes, so turn on your notifications so you can know when each episode is going to be dropping. And now you can go to the link in bar where it says Meticulous Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. And you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms where you can actually listen to episodes. And of course, you can leave a voice message on anchor.fm/Meticulous Vibe Juice Pod based on the review topics on games, music artists, rappers, singers. There's there's movies, TV shows. There's sometimes a little review on podcast shows as well. So here's what here's what we could do here. We're gonna start with Anchor. Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and of course, you can listen to the episodes of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast review show on Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. And of course, be sure to subscribe. Make sure you follow my other shows on there on iHeartRadio. And by the way, you don't need a credit card or a debit card to actually download this app. By the way, what you need is your iPhones. Download these apps, including iPhones, Android tablets, alongside with the iPads, the Android tablets, and of course, your friendly laptop is your friend. You can download these apps onto your laptops as well. So, yes, so follow Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show on iHeartRadio, and my number one show, Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast on iHeartRadio as well. So, and last but not least, make sure you grab that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, by grabbing that subscribe button. Click on the noni bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment along with the review topics of different music artists, rappers, singers, TV shows, movies, video games, and much more. So, without further ado, you can make sure you share the episodes, share the videos, listen, stream, watch these episodes, and of course, download these episodes, which is very important, of course. And of course, be sure to tell a friend to another friend, spread the word, and on top of that, um, be sure to spread the word. Word of mouth is important, and of course, share the link along with the podcast with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your friends, the people you are cool with from work and everywhere else where you meet people, whether it's festivities, parties, wherever gatherings you meet up with people and stuff. So, and that's gonna do it for me, man. I'm your man. G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, aka Greg. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode 104, all about cars. And yeah, and stay tuned for episode 105. I will be back in a couple minutes for episode 105 for you folks out there. And I hope y'all are ready for Christmas. I know I am. Hope y'all did your Christmas shopping already. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace and one love. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your night.